Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson. With me is Josh Mansfield, a demon teacher and the producer of this show. I'm one of the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We have an email here from Alyssa, maybe, and the subject is advice on framing my story and law school decision.
Hi, guys. I hope you're doing well. I'd really like to, I really value your input as I weigh two big decisions. I've worked in finance since the pandemic, currently managing logistics, financials, a team in China, and general ledger work. I took a non-traditional path, finishing my degree last year after caring for my father through a long illness. I also overcame major health challenges, lost 130 plus pounds, and scored a 169 on the LSAT. Now I'm torn between two narratives. One, my transformation through powerlifting and personal growth, or two, my experience navigating the healthcare system and becoming an advocate. Which do you think resonates more for law school? Thanks for your thoughts, Alyssa.
Neither?
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben. I think we're about to say the same thing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, it's great that you transformed your life through powerlifting and you grew personally, but people generally don't receive these transformational stories as powerfully as you think they do. When you start talking about transformation, that necessarily means you're going to talk about your failures. You're going to talk about things that weren't going well for you. And then you're going to talk about how you overcame them. And so people are going to walk away with, at the very least, two impressions. One, where you didn't do well, and two, where you, potentially succeeded by overcoming those challenges. But maybe it's just because of a negativity bias or, a concern about problems more than a concern about opportunities. People are going to remember those failures. And oftentimes, I'm not saying this is going to happen for you, but so many times when people talk about transformation, it's underwhelming. There is this excitement and there's this, oh my God, this is what I did. And that buildup ends up falling flat because what they did is something that a lot of people would just expect you to do as a matter of course. Hey, you want to go to law school? This is a serious profession. We expect you to have accomplished certain things in your life. And you're saying, hey, guess what? I got sober or whatever it is, And it's like, good, that's great. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. But that is just necessary for showing up.
You've gotten back to bare minimum.
Yeah, you've come. Okay, great. You've made yourself eligible to compete in this competition.
Right.
But we are looking for people who are not only eligible, but have also gone beyond that. And so the easiest way to do that is to just start talking about you leading a team in China.
Yeah.
Just skip everything about your past and the problems you had and the challenges you had to go through to get there. Instead, just talk about your leadership and what you did as a manager of a team in China. And people are immediately going to see you as a killer. Like, oh, wow, this person leads teams. And now they want to come to law school and they're just going to continue that success here and go on to become maybe a partner somewhere and lead a team in a legal setting.
It's so funny because Alyssa, and sorry, some must have copied over funny on the first name and the subject. But what's funny for me about this from Alyssa is that she gives us these two options of the story she wants to tell. And neither of them are the fact that she works in logistics financing.
Yeah.
And manages this team in China.
That's exactly what lawyers want to talk about. You want to talk about money for big companies. Okay, great.
Great.
that's where business is in the legal field. Yeah.
And it's funny, you talked a little bit about kind of like the personal growth side. The second option was this idea of experiencing the healthcare system. Yeah, is the healthcare system a beast to navigate? Absolutely. I worked in hospice and home health. I know tons of family members who've had to learn to navigate a very complex and difficult system who I would never in a million years say should go to law school.
Yeah.
Right? It's not because you've done that you should be going to law school.
Yeah.
Your job is where your personal statement should be. It's where your focus should be. It's where your resume should be emphasized. It is like, that's the focus. That's the highlight. I don't care. Like, and I don't want to sound like cold by any means. I just don't care about those other two things in the context of why you are going to be a successful lawyer. But you have something that is going to make a very compelling personal statement. Yeah. Take advantage of that.
Cool. Do we want to read the rest of this or?
Yeah, we can. So she's asking about schools.
Yeah.
Options for two different law schools. She says, if accepted to Stetson, should I stay local to save money or choose Howard for its network and big law placement?
This assumption underlying this question is again, here are my two options. Which is better? I want you to have 10 options, 15 options. And you don't need to stay local to save money. You save money by going to law school for free, even if that's far away.
So I just pulled up Howard's employment summary.
Okay.
You can find this. I literally just Googled Howard employment outcomes. It's an ABA required report. It's called the ABA employment summary for 2024 graduates. Every school is required to do it. So Howard placed 58 students in firms, 501 attorneys or bigger, with 2 federal clerkships out of a class of 147. So about 30%. I mean, that's a decent big law placement for not a top school. Stetson was the other one. And this is the other question then too, is like, what's going to be the cost for Howard? If you said, well, should I go to Howard for the network and the big law placement at full price? No, you should not.
Yeah. It's interesting. And this is not necessarily Alyssa's fault. This is just the nature of the game, because law schools don't tell you what price you're going to have to pay. You tend to take that out of the equation, but that's so fundamental to an equation, right? You wouldn't say to someone, well, should I buy a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla? Or, oh, hey, maybe I should save money and get a Hyundai. And it's like, what's the actual car that you're looking at? How many miles does it have? What year is it? And what's its actual price? Because we're not just going to talk in these vague, abstractions. Yeah, you should always get a Honda Civic. That's the right play. And it's like, no, you don't know.
Stetson places in a total of 49 students out of a class of 280. So just under 20, still north of 20%. If you told me I have a full ride to Stetson or I have a full tuition price, like I'm paying full price at Howard, a 10% big law placement rate does not justify that kind of a price difference.
Nope. No.
Not even close.
Nope. Especially since if you're paying, the more you're paying, the more likely it is that you're near, the middle or the bottom of the class. So,
Yep. And what happens if you decide you don't want to do big law and you're locked in with 6 figures of debt? I mean, that's the one when people
where the
say
stress comes in. Yeah.
Yeah. And even the people who go in with like the idea of the public loan forgiveness program, which is even more uncertain because you don't know if it's going to exist in 10 years. The idea that I'm just going to pay full price because I have a way to pay for it after presumes that you're going to want to do that thing and be able to do that thing. And that's just not a guarantee. That's the consideration, Alyssa. What's the price? What's the real actual price? Thanks for writing in. Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.